We went to Rome for the Forgotten Championship, and something unthinkable happened. But no spoilers, let's start with the thing you do know. Second to last round of the Campionato Dimenticato, and we're in Qualy, near Rome, for the Grand Prix of Europe. With 2 races to go, we'll try to end in a high, in a season where we got a good amount of points, but wasn't all that consistent.
Ciao gatto.
Hai capito?
Vabbè.
This circuit is a paradise for both 4-wheel lovers and 2-wheeled ones. If you live in the city of Rome or near it, you'll most definitely know this circuit. And speaking of 2 wheels, someone decided to give it a shot.
Allora, sono vivo e lo considero un risultato di quelli della Madonna proprio. Sono rimasto 15 minuti in sella, non so come io abbia fatto, per cui va bene così.
Guarda, sei comunque migliore di me perché io non mi metterei mai su una motocicletta. Quindi... Aspetta, devi avere la patente per...
No, devi solo fare la tessera dentro. Fai conto che non avevo mai messo il culo su una cosa con 2 ruote e un motore. Che non fossero le mie gambe.
We also decided to do things big here, bringing a flag of Veneto, our home region, even though we're in Lazio here, some stickers with the team logo, and the Ace up our sleeve, our flag. This will look over and protect us during every race. I'm incredibly proud of how it turned out, and even prouder to show it in every race from this day on.
Ditemi che vi ho lasciato di stucco.
Avete fatto le cose in grande.
Già? Speriamo bassi per minimo un terzo posto.
Noi abbiamo puntato su supporti più piccoli, o meglio supporti digitali.
Capisco, la vedo là in fondo, la vedo. L'ho notata.
No, non quello.
La marcia di Brambilla.
Esatto.
La marcia di Brambilla. Purtroppo questa versione non presenta il musetto sfasciato del risultato.
Vabbè, se puoi rifarti in gara, dai.
Guarda, essendomi già prefatto in autostrada, ti dico che è figo per oggi. Grazie.
Ok.
During these races, we've always been in 5. Unfortunately for today, there were some, let's call it logistical problems, and so we're only racing 4. You already saw Chris, and with me, there will also be Luca and Marco, 2 locals that are really expert on this track. So I think I talked enough for now, so let's hit the track. But not for the pre-qualifying. You see, they gave us the possibility to practice a bit with the track before the race starts. And so me and Chris took the opportunity and jumped on the first kart we found.
Ecco, non arrivo neanche ai pedali. Puoi regolare. Sarà una lunga sera. Regola. Prima erano è troppo alto. Ecco.
And after a little bit of time waiting, they start our kart, and we're here for the free practice. Let's also see the track we're racing today, the Crystal Village Circuit. Narrow and twisty, this is often referred as the Monte Carlo of the Forgotten Championship, with also some really strange sections, like a dogtooth, which is turned from 5 to 7, and also the quite bumpy last sector. Here, we'll have to use all of our skills to even have a chance of getting some points. Getting back to the practice itself, I'm getting smoked by the other drivers here. The one that overtook me while we were explaining the circuit was Davide from the Stint team, and now I have someone else on my tail. He got a great launch off the dogtooth, and now we are neck and neck with him. I raised my foot on the hairpin though. I still don't have enough confidence to go toe to toe with some of the racers, and I have good reason to do so, because some laps later, this happened. And just a few turns later, this also happened. Fortunately, I'm not the only one in this situation. This guy here appears to also be trying to learn the track. I'm getting faster and faster every lap though, and I wanna try something here, at least to get the hang of things. So, in the main straight at the back of the circuit, I get closer to him, and I get on the inside of him to seal the overtake.
Wait.
Okay, maybe I need to try that again. And that's exactly what I'm going to do on turn 3 of the track. Well, at least I passed him. Other than that, not really all that much happened, but if you're curious to see the entire free practice, I put it on a full race video that releases the same time as this one does. Link in the description if you're curious. Overall though, the free practice helped a lot. I understood some parts of the track, and I think without it, the race would have been much worse.
Ma c'è qualcun altro che fa riprese? Ma c'è qualcun altro? Chi è che riprende?
Sto cazzo.
Sembra giusto.
Let's also talk about the standings after the Padua round. And this is now crunch time. Both Zakspeed and Andrea Moda need a really good result to even have a small chance to grab the title. As for us, we are level on points with Caterham after a great race in Veneto. Our objective for this race is to gain some points on them and also on the 40 Corse, which is very close behind.
Ciao Micio.
Sei una star anche tu, mica quello di Baku. Vero? Vero che siamo una star?
Ci avevi un cazzo.
La bianca e non partecipa al briefing?
Parti!
Sarei dati un secondo e non siete qui per un secondo di ritardo.
Niente, se spaccia il microfono.
Com'è che è la canzone della... della polenta?
Sono tedeschi, degli avversari si prendono i teschi.
Ma io che ne so?
Sì.
Lo sanno loro.
And after 40 Corse eventually showed up, we did our briefing and were immediately shoved into the pre-qualifying. And we're starting like this, because kinda like in Padua, I've got a problem doing my pit stop, and I wasn't able to start my camera. This time though, I managed to start it, basically at the start of my stint. During this pit stop, I also got a problem with the pedals. They were a little bit too close for my liking, so I wasn't able to drive as well as I could. But anyway, hop on with me and see a full lap of the Crystal Village circuit. We first start with a 90-degree left corner that then leads to another left and right that forms a spiral. This is a major overtaking spot and also an hotspot for troubles. After this small straight that isn't straight, we come to the infamous dogtooth, a series of 3 corners that is vital for having a good lap that then leads you to the longest straight on the track. This is where we can see some head-to-head action before we come to the hairpin, another difficult corner of the track. Then comes this series of double right-hander, this cone we can call it that we completely skip, to then reach the final hairpin, another very difficult corner to nail with a very bumpy braking point. And after another 90-degree right-hander, we end the lap. And this is just one of the 220 we have to do. A good lap here, usually on the 38 seconds. But if everyone on the team can go faster than the 40 second, I think we can be really happy of our performance. Some laps went by, and I see someone up the road. This could be a big opportunity for me, and as we enter a new lap, I made quick work of the first guy as he goes wide on the spiral, and I start chasing the other. Now, a good piece of advice I gave you when racing on a new track is to follow someone that clearly knows a lot more about you. By following it, you can copy his lines and also see when he brakes and also when he put the pedal on the gas. Couple of laps later, I see my sign on display by my team, and so it is time to come back to the pits. I didn't do all that many laps, but every lap is a chance to getting better, so I'll take any one I could. Now you probably saw at our pit stop, Dazuka is taking our kart to end the pre-qualifying. Thanks to him, we managed to get into the Q2, so we can fight for the first position on the grid. This is already a great result. Without him and Luca, me and Chris wouldn't have all that many chances to get the points. But before we start the next session, we will debrief a little.
Molto, sì, è vero.
Quindi davanti, fidati che...
Sì, ma devo fidarmi in quella curva là. Va bene, ok, mi fido. Devo fidarmi.
Mettiamo prima qui. Ma poi sto a pensare, prima sosta chi potrebbe entrare?
Direi prima io. Okay. Vorrei fare prima io, onestamente.
Quindi faresti il secondo stint tu?
Sì.
Allora Cri, fate del terzo, mi faccio il quarto che ci chiudo la gara poi.
Aspetta.
Semmai.
Quindi come
Beh, no, per fare minimo 7 pit stop.
Insomma, sono 8 stint. Cioè, al giro poi è quello.
Ah, ok, quindi
Ok.
Marco, io.
Facciamo Marco, tu, Cristian, io, Marco, tu, Cristian, io.
Ok, va bene.
Ora possiamo pure mischiarli,
Esatto.
Dipende, magari decidiamo a stint a stint. Chi ha voglia, chi ha...
Esatto. Allora pensiamo ai primi 5 pit stop, ognuno alla volta.
Pensiamo ai primi 4.
Esatto.
Sì,
Primi
bravo.
5 e poi gli ultimi 2, chi se la sente di più.
Facciamo,
va.
perché sarebbe buono far finire gara Marco, secondo me. Però
Sì,
lui
decisamente.
se fa il primo, sta un'ora fermo e se fa l'ultimo, vediamo se gli va.
Esatto.
Capiamo
Va
insieme a lui.
Va buon.
Esatto. Ci devo anche aggiornare
Che fa
come
finire
situazione.
l'ultimo stint quello più veloce sarebbe la cosa meglio.
Sto partiti.
Oh,
So let's not waste any more time and let's start with the qualifying.
ti hai preso spazio? Ti hai preso spazio? Dov'è?
No,
È il Q1 questo? Sì, è il Q1, ok, sì.
Focusing our attention to the right session this time, Marco was the first one to set a time in his only lap, and he was good enough for a P2 on the grid. But you may be asking, who took the first spot?
La Corti forse in pole nel 2025! La
con Blangla? Ma cos'è? Tutto questo perché non sono saliti Manu e Vise perché a quel punto...
La Corti forse in pole nel Big 25!
La Corti Forti in pole prima di GTA 6.
Esatto!
This is really unbelievable. Corti force in pole, and it's all thanks to Dimenticato, a wildcard for this Roman round. Thanks to him and his time of 38.9, Corti Force will start ahead of everyone else. But before the big event, we took some time off to rest and chit-chat a little.
Cioè con Nicola proprio.
Ma te ti ho dato una roba della Spirit?
E la Spirit no, sinceramente.
Allora te la passo subito. Ah, tu sei Lorenzo Lucidi? Sì. Fan. Cioè, piacere. Perché non ho il telefono, mannaggia?
Ma ce l'ho io.
Fammi una foto di tutto quanto.
Ok.
Yeah, we found this conveniently placed hill near the track, where we could basically see it all. And as all the team went on track to position themselves on the starting grid, a big group of drivers flocked on our position.
Perdermi questa partenza e non di mettermela qua su on camera.
Porti corse in pole position!
Esatto! Là ci sono tutti!
Là?
Non si vede una sega! Non si vede una sega,
Ma
però
raga,
ci speriamo!
occhio là dietro che se casca uno so cazzi.
È già puntato verso la... guarda, è già puntato verso la Corti, guarda! È già puntato verso la Corti!
Non nominateci in parte col muso come Verstappen.
Esatto, cioè...
E Alonso. Che anche Alonso faceva tutto. Ma Max è il migliore.
Grande Alonso lo va forte.
Via, 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 via!
L'importante è cercare di starci dietro. No, sì.
È una l'ha persa il nostro. prima quella mossa.
Well, you saw how the race went on without any trouble, right? Until it didn't. Just 7 laps in, the race had to be restarted for a problem on the lap counting software of the circuit. And so I took the opportunity to speak to Marco before the race restarted.
A posto? A posto? Che succede?
No, in realtà non c'ha tanta velocità, perché quello dietro di me lo tenevo dietro solo perché c'ha più motore. Quindi vediamo adesso, perché mi sentivo pure troppo lontano col...
Ok, va bene, va bene. Comunque va bene più o meno, sì? Va bene. Bella questa!
So without wasting any more time, let's see the restart of the Europe Grand Prix.
Allora, abbiamo pure l'elicottero che ci fa le immagini.
And as the race rages on, and with Marco not losing any position in his first stint, we will skip forward a little so we can see the second stint done by yours truly.
Pronti? Pronti, pronti, pronti!
Scusa con te! Quanti chili?
Zero!
Zero?
Zero! Com'è?
Vai!
And we start our first stint in the race! But I immediately have to make a clarification. Look at turn 1. Yeah, I mistakenly removed the stabilization on my camera for the entirety of the race. I'll try to do my best to not make you throw up, but yeah, I'm terribly sorry for this mistake. Now, I want to use these first laps of the race to get acquainted with the track. Even after one free practice and a pre-qualifying session, it still isn't enough. And if you got any doubt about this, the fact I almost ran over 2 people, I think is a good indicator. We reach probably the most technical part of the circuit, and also the one where my camera bounces the most, especially after this double right-hander. Look at this shit. After the last hairpin, I see someone! Someone is right at my tail, so we need to defend the position as much as we can. As we start the next lap, I don't see him, but at the same time, I go wide at turn 2, and he easily catches me. We need to stick to him. In case he made a mistake, we could easily re-get the position, but he got a good launch out of turn 3, and he also does the dogtooth better than me. I'm a bit too far away in the straight to even try something, but let's see, as we reach the hairpin, I do a mistake and get deep into the corner. What a terrible mistake by me! And just like that, we lose 2 positions out of the blue. All of the good work done by Marco on qualifying, thrown in the bin like this. But now that's in the past. We need to get our head down and try to get back those positions. But after almost a lap, it doesn't seem I will be able to do so. They're already miles ahead of me. And as I reach again the hairpin, I figure that I won't be able to reach them. But we can't get distracted. We have to keep our head down and do our best to finish our stint. And so we'll do what we already done countless times. The turn which is not a turn, the incredibly bumpy hairpin, also with someone pitting on the right, in what is the shortest pit lane in the entire calendar, to then start another lap. heard those strange stings, I see someone just up ahead the road. It seems like I'm not the only one struggling on this track. We need to take this opportunity and pounce on him as fast as possible. Especially for making up for the errors I made before. And this is exactly what we're going to do just a couple of laps later, as he goes wide at the last hairpin. I try to switch back at the last corner, but without any luck. I'll get just a little bit more speed on him thanks to this move. And at turn 1, I have to lift the foot for not crashing into him. He also loses it a little after turn 1. We reach the dog tooth. I brake a little bit earlier than him as he goes wide again. I tried on the inside, but he has more speed on the outside. I try to get his slipstream, but someone uses this opportunity and dive bombs me. We don't have to worry though. This guy is already ahead of me. You can tell by how fast it is on this track. You can also see it by yourself, by how easily he overtakes this guy we're fighting with at the hairpin. Speaking of the guy we're fighting with, he is very slow at the last 2 corners. We start another lap, and second time's the charm. And as we reach the first 2 corners, he loses the cars. I have to stomp my feet on the brake, just like we did on the last lap. I get on his right side, and I finish the move before the dog tooth, differently from the last lap, where I couldn't be able to do so. But we cannot sleep now. We need to put some meters between us and him. Another lap has passed, and I realized that I got someone really close to me. He is Raul Baldan. He's racing for Andrea Moda, and he's probably the fastest on this circuit. Andrea Moda need to have a great result this weekend to even have a possibility to grab the title, and he's probably the man that can deliver it. I wanted to stick to him to learn some moves, but he's coming to the pits. The one time I want someone to be ahead of me, and they just don't want to do so. Bummer. Speaking of great drivers, I also found Valerio Lanzillo from the DKT Arrows, and I'm almost fought with him. Didn't last very long, but it was really good to share the racetrack with the one that dominated the entire championship. My stint is almost completed, but I found out something quite worrying. Thank God that my stint basically ended, and those are problems for another team.
Andavi bene, eri costante.
Bene.
41, 42, 43.
Bene.
Più o meno eri come la media del gruppo, no?
Bene. Cazzo di piede.
Our race continues with not too many hiccups. First with Chris stint, and then with Lucas one, and all of a sudden we realized the thing.
Siamo a metà gara. Di già.
And so it's up to me to start the second half of the race.
Zavorra 0.
And as the lights go green, we start our second stint in the Europe Grand Prix. Now, unfortunately, the first part of the stint was rather quiet, and only after 4 or 5 laps, I spotted someone. That is my next target for this race. I also managed to get to him. I only did that in 5 more laps. Jesus Christ, so much. I immediately started attacking him. First time at the hairpin, trying to go for a more inside line, but with no luck. I can retry an attack at the last hairpin, and on a very important overtaking spot on the track. But important doesn't mean easy, as he goes a little bit wide here. I could try a switchback, but he exits very good from the last corner, and so he pulls a little bit away. We arrive at turn 2 and he parks the kart on the apex. Turn 3 and I go a little bit more on the inside than him, but it's not enough and he pulls away to the dogtooth. But at the exit of this corner I get a little bit of speed and I manage to not lose him on the straight. We reach the hairpin and I try to do the same move I did lap before, but once again it's no use. It's now time for the double right-hander and we almost touch. We need to be careful, I don't want to ruin the race of anybody. Last hairpin and I'm all over him. The overtake is not a question of if, but a question of when. And I hope this when arrives soon, as we start another lap. Turn 1, 2 and 3, the spiral of the start of this circuit. And he goes wide, he does the same error he made at the last lap. This time I get the opportunity and I seize the overtake. Really liking this move, but he's still there after a dogtooth. This has now become a drag race on the back straight of the circuit. But as we reach the next corner of the track, he'll lift the foot and I seize the overtake for good. After that, the track got kinda lonely, but didn't last all that long. A familiar face showed up for the first time in a race. And so we'll engage as fast as possible to try to take down the team principal of the Stint Reborn team. We'll try together at these two right-handers, and we almost collide with each other! I mean, we even also have a little contact, fortunately with no consequences. This battle reminds me a lot of the one I did before. Basically the same lines and basically the same moves. As she pulls a little bit from me. But I regain it all in these first two turns. And as we reach turn 3, same move I did before. I go on the power quite early and at the dogtooth I cut her off. She's still there, but I get a little bit better traction than her at the exit of this corner. And so I see another overtake in the same exact way I did before. How much I like this move. We reach my favorite overtaking spot once again, when all of a sudden... I don't know if you noticed, but you probably saw that in that corner we were going a little bit over the track limit. This wasn't made on purpose. The real racing line should be a little bit wider than that. But with every driver of every team trying to find the limit, someone kinda overdoes it. A racing driver, this is what we do obviously. We might get it wrong sometimes, as everyone does, but this makes us learn to do the next lap even better than the one before. And so as we reach the same section of the track, we can see the guys of the circuit putting back the barriers as they should be. No yellow flag there, but we reached the foot anyway. Now fortunately, after this happened, my stint was kinda lonely, so I just kept the majority of it. And as I pull into the pits, I remind you that you can find the video of the entire race on the channel.
Prima, ma stavi andando bene, ti abbiamo tenuto di più. Eri costante sul 39 basso adesso.
Bene, 39 basso bello.
Eri costante lì, buono. Infatti ti abbiamo tenuto per 4-5 giri. E guarda a vedere a che giro sta partendo.
Vai, 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 vai.
And so as the laps count go down and the stint number goes up, we can really start to see the scars of the fight.
Vabbè, cioè lui ha i crampi per farti capire, cioè quanto sono difficili guardare questi kart.
Cazzo.
Cioè lui ha le mani distrutte.
No, vuole le braccia.
Tutto di...
Fino a qua. Fino a qua.
Sembra il coccolo di Way, sembra dell'ospedale, cioè.
Porco due, tra poco ce l'arrivo per l'ospedale.
Few time has passed, and it's now time for our last pit stop. Marco will take the cut from Luca, and he'll try to end the race on a high.
Bene, abbiamo finito. Com'è, scusa?
Il vostro card. No, non lo voglio, va bene. No, non mi interessa, grazie.
Ok. Posto?
Sì.
Bene.
Cazzo, adesso andava bene, nel carte.
Bene, bene.
Mi stavo a dirti.
Guarda di avere il sigillo di garanzia dell'unicorno. Adesso sei bollato ufficialmente.
Girato e ritrovato a
Esatto.
Ragazzi, io oggi livello sfiga per questa gara è ritornato sui livelli di competenza.
Ma perché il settimo ottavo poi sei arrivato ultimo?
Perché abbiamo perso il sponsor, no?
Ah,
Io ti ho detto che sono tornato sui livelli di sfiga abituali.
ah,
Tamponato in autostrada, girato quando la prima partenza. È strano che l'abbiano annullata e sia ripartiti da capo. Perso il transponder. Onestamente penso che se mi casca il cazzo mi rimbalza nel culo.
Yeah, we started having way too much fun in the paddock.
Ho detto si riesco il rotino double.
vai.
Ora me lo porto a casa.
Oh,
And maybe forgetting a little bit about the race. But we'll rapidly come back to it.
24 G, 23. Gli KT mi sa che se la portano a casa, Gli KT sono primi, mi sa che si portano a casa il titolo.
I should have stayed silent. Because after those 23 laps, Andrea Moda comes home with a win at their home race. But celebrations are everywhere, as this is the first ever podium of the Syntec Reborn team in the Campionato Dimenticato. And so, as the Andrea Moda won this round, the championship is still open, going into the final.
Andrea Moda tecnicamente può fare 16 punti.
Ok, capisco.
Dopo i risultati della pista abbiamo 13 di vantaggio sulla seconda.
Quindi a Torino?
Quindi a Torino.
A Torino, perfetto.
Casa, meglio.
Meglio, esatto. Odio Syntec!
Cazzo! Ho vinto. Ma quale costo? Ma quale costo? Che sono l'una e mezza del mattino.
Come 1:30?
Guarda Cristo! Guarda!
Ma porca toia!
Beh, tieni conto che siamo ripartiti, cos'era, alle 11?
Sì, alle 11 siamo partiti.
Qualcosa perché...
Sì!
Oh, certo che sta gara... Allora,
No, ma normale, sì.
prima il conteggio che non funziona.
Che non conteggia.
Il conteggio che non c'è. Le cartelle dei transponder che volano. Cioè, anche a noi,
Ma
cazzo.
non è dato niente di buono sta gara.
E meno male che avevamo detto andiamo qui perché non vogliamo correre con i trattori di Tobiano.
Che dire, raga.
Innanzitutto congratulazioni a tutti perché il fotografo è vivo. E
Mancava
è
poco,
risultato.
mancava poco.
Ci mancava poco, però è vivo.
Something a little bit bad happened. Basically, you saw the graphic that put us in P7 on the final standings. Well, for the two teams losing the transponder, being Corti Force and Polenta March, the race directors decided to redo the entire top 10 and put both of these teams ahead of us. So, our final result is actually a P9 on the grid. Still good, it's still points, on what is undoubtedly a very hard track. But I honestly take it, because the thing I was spoiling you at the start of the video is about to happen.
hanno decretato al terzo posto. È stato davvero combattuto, devo dire, tra quello che si è visto in pista e quello che si è visto fuori. Al terzo posto del premio creatività il team Venetian Spirit Racing.
Vai fuori.
Ci tenevo anche a sottolineare che è un team di wildcard, quindi dei ragazzi che sono stati messi insieme oggi.
Non sono gli altri.
Arriva.
È vostra però,
Sul podio andate, sul podio!
I couldn't even think. A podium, even if only for creativity, in the Campionato Dimenticato, only on our 5th race. What a result! We are bronze medalists in this championship. And all thanks to that beautiful flag I brought to the track. Focusing on the main race, congratulations to stint on their first podium, to DKT Arrows with their great race in 2nd position, and to Andrea Moda to keep a title hopes alive. Let's also watch the standings a bit, as it is now crunch time, with only one round remaining. Andrea Moda takes 2nd place. That speed is not far ahead of them, but just some points off the title contention. Meanwhile, 3 points for us, which puts us levels with the 40 Corsa team. So we've come to the end of this amazing race. Be sure to check out the others also, and be prepared for the next one, the final race in Milan. See you there!